Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to the channel. Welcome back to Space Engineers. Hi, I'm your host, Quantum Tater. Quantum Tater, say hello. Ah. Oh, I took damage. I took damage. What you see behind me is the red hat of the no-name ship. As we zoom out, completion is completing. We are in the throes of completion. Yeah, we're slowly cooking. It is come together. It's all part of the plan. And while it's part of the plan, I'll take a quick step back here. Hello, engine. Everything's looking pretty good. Um, yeah. So last time we talked about, I asked the question, should we build some sort of, uh, what do we call it? Should we build some sort of ship to eat, to consume, to reclaim the enemies, to scrap for us? And I think everybody kind of pitched an idea. We were talking about Bob's. We were talking about Chad mentioned 20, but John Bray had an idea of a ship, basically a remote block ship that we could call in from a great distance. Basically, we would show up, do the fighting, do everything, repairs as needed, and then we could jump in the ship that we were planning that would do all the grinding and everything down, and we would chew those things up. And that sounds like a really cool idea. I hadn't thought about that. I do love the idea. He also mentioned a grinder wall. I don't know how I'm gonna. I do like the idea of a grinder wall, but then that requires me to sit there with the ship while it chews through some stuff. Unless we could set up some sort of gravity machine that would slowly pull the object into grinders while it chews it up. I believe I have it. Ooh, lag spike. Wait. Oh no, don't freeze up on me. Wait, there we go. I believe I have it set so that the I believe I have it set so that a grinder pit shouldn't fling blocks everywhere, although I don't know, I don't think that's as surefire as what I thought it was. This should be listed as special. It is listed as special. What else we got? Um, there's a large grid. To do that. Yeah, so that's kind of the big thing. Shout out to Lord Chaos. I think he was yelling 75 with regards to 75 meters to get a lock, inertial dampener lock, and then I believe Clyde also mentioned salvaging ships always having some level of carrier with him or some sort of grablin, something like that that can collect this stuff and tow it and do all those things. And I just forgot to bring one last time. It's really what it is. Let's see what else we got. That was a loud noise. Do I have a rocket launcher in here? I do. I do. Okay, so we're gonna go hunting while we continue to finish. If I take a look at our inventory system, what are we stuck on? We cannot be out of iron again. That seems to be nearly impossible. Refinery. We may be. We may actually be out of frickin' iron again. Okay. Well, there's that. That means metal grids are not getting processed. Where is the cargo with all of the materials? Cargo with materials. We have plenty of ice. Well, we have ice. I wouldn't say plenty. We're doing the refinery there. How much? I wonder how much iron I need to get. It seems like a lot. We have. Wait a minute. Platinum, cobalt, tons of gold, ridiculous amounts of gold. More ice here. Nickel is good. Cobalt, we've got not a lot, but we should have. Man, we've chewed through that much iron. Holy cow. Holy cow. Um, yeah, I don't even know what to do about that. That's a ton of iron. That's more iron than I would have expected to have chewed through. So that changes some of the plans. I still think we're gonna go fight and do all those fun things. Yeah, I still think that's what's gonna happen. We're gonna go ahead and go fight the fight. Bonanza. That's what we're gonna do. But before that, I was gonna do a quick showcase showdown. So cue the prices right. Boop 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 boo. specifically to show you what I was thinking about for the reclaimer for my ship for specifically salvaging and stuff. Create a couple of those and some of my blueprints, just kind of run down the list. So I'm going to turn it over to you, Quantum Tater. Thanks, Quantum Tater. As he was saying, I am definitely showing some stuff off really quick. So, as we see the no-name ship as it stands, so recently I had a discussion with John Bray, and the discussion was about whether, like, basically why my blueprinting wasn't really working the way it wanted to. So you can see our iceroid base down there, and you can see the ships we worked on. And I have recently taken the Schnauzer and done a little refresh on it. This is the Schnauzer as it would be completed if we were to move forward with this ship. And if you look under here, we've managed to fix the graboid solution. So I can come over here, press this button there. We've got the Schnauzer doors. The graboid fits perfectly in here. And now as we look, we have a couple of CICs, command consoles. So we have the top bridge as we did before, airtight and ready to rock. I haven't done anything else up here. I maybe might fill it out some more with some extra consoles or something like that. But then as we come downstairs, we see our remote block for going to reverse, our two things there, our recharge block as it stands. Right here we come out, we've got this walkway with a bunch of small reactors. We come around, and then now we have jump drive 1, jump drive 2, jump drive 3. On the other side, 4 and 5 are right there. So this is 5 jump drives on this ship, including plenty of that things. And then our second CIC is right here. It even has a pitch view and stuff like that, so you can kind of see where to nestle in here. Still got some pretty good roll. I think it's actually a little less maneuverable still than the no-name ship, but it is heavily armed and ready for Schnauzer-like combat. So yeah, that's one of the things we've got. Let's see, we hop out of here, and this also has a control panel which we can gladly press right here and close those up so that we can transport it safely. And then this is the version 3 of it, as you can see, and we also have this right here where we can escape the roof and come out here to our many decoys in many different places. This is something I was working on. I was thinking of like a hydrogen barge. You can ignore that. Now, onto the showcase. So first, these are old builds. These are, where are they at? There they are. These are some of my oldest planetary builds I ever did. I was in a co-op game with a friend of mine, my brother-in-law actually. And so I had my atmospheric miner. That's this guy. I don't even know if it had a name, if I'm being honest. I don't think it did. What is the name of this guy here? Just small grid, yeah, so that guy. And then I had the cow stamp miner. Obviously this thing is just lots of lift, and then it drills straight down. Just so we'd get over a resource and just basically turn off inertial dampeners and watch it crush. Now the only thing about this is as soon as you got even remotely off tilt, these thrusters were not enough to keep it aloft, so you had to be very careful about keeping this bad boy vertical. And then I had this thing, I don't remember what I called it. I want to say this was the Crambone Part 2. And it was an atmospheric combat ship type thing that I had done. Some race types. I had some interesting engine cowling, trying to make these look cool and not stupid. Large thrusters that direction. Clearly tons of forward thrust. Reverse thrust was a little lacking. I think I only had 8 total. Plenty of lift as far as those two go. And yeah, just kind of a mediocre ship. It did have an interior. Nothing special. I don't know. This is right. I want to say this is right when the carbon fiber and this sort of Tron texture came out, and I was like, "That's gonna be cool. I'm gonna use that." It's not. It's not great. So these are probably some of my oldest creations by far. It had landing gear and stuff so that it could easily dock, and even a bob. Then moving on to the other repertoire, we've got a couple of things you guys may have seen for. Obviously, here's his Elder Dagron Mark 1. And let me know if you guys want blueprints into these. This is the Pawn Strider, I believe, or the Soul Strider, I'm sorry, Soul Strider, and I think it's Mark 1 and Mark 2. I don't know if there's differentiation between these two, but I had 2 blueprints. This ship was called the Rejump. It was for a public server I was playing on, and effectively, it was just a jump drive driven ship that allowed me to transport a miner into the system, basically in. Transport a miner had like high viewing angle, obviously, so you could very easily the kind of that stuff. Show up, do some mining, a bed, a bathroom, kitchen, stuff like that, and as long as you had like these doors properly open and closed, it wouldn't mess up too much. It didn't have a crazy jump range, but it was just used. Basically, I had a miner that I would stick on the back of this, and that's what this would transport it out. And I had 2 docking bays, and it was also had 2 refineries built in, so that I could basically refine while after I picked the ore and stuff up. And 2 little sleds for landing. I don't believe this was atmospheric capable, despite it was not atmospheric capable. So then we have our Soul Strider. Like, I got a lot of little ones. This ship I never used. This was built in just whatever. I called it the Lamenter. It was meant to be a combat ship just for fun. It's pretty heavily armored. Not a great design. I don't love it. I was trying to go for a certain type of ship, and I just simply could not get the flavor down. So it has a Bob, obviously, and a cryopod, and then this really claustrophobic bay. But you know, it wasn't terrible. Not the best thing in the world. So that's that guy. This is the Dagron, which I did showcase, I think, once before we decided to go with Elder Dagron. Not a lot of side coverage for weapons, just a heavily armored top thing. This would be like a little Corvette, maybe like a blockade runner or something, nothing too crazy. Yeah, not great. This is the OG Crambone. Man, I can't even tell you what this guy... I think I showed you guys the disc. We talked about this guy before. It was my first attempt at building a ship that I thought might be able to combat the whatchamacallsums. No, whatchamacallsums, that's the Factorum. So, just internal cockpit, nothing too crazy, nothing special about this guy at all, in my opinion. Just kind of a ship. I think its jump range was pretty trash. So, moving on. Yeah. So there's the Dagron. This is the Crambone. Also, just like a Corvette freighter, nothing too crazy. Had one of these docking bays where you could merge block and go in. I don't suppose it really matters. Try to use good blocks. It had a docking bay for a ship, some kind of transport ship, so you could put in like a miner or something like that. Tons of remote blocks, cryo tube, a station here for controlling turrets. I don't remember what was back here. I think it's just another docking bay. This guy here, and then you come into here and you got yourself a med bay. Air, obviously. Oh yeah, the timers, I believe, are set up for closing the doors. I think that's what we had the timer set up for. Cargo access here, which could be done obviously much better. Now that everything's done, I think they might all have the timers for it. And then we had some remote blocks, a couple cockpits. You know, not a bad looking ship. I kind of liked it. And Crambone, if you aren't familiar with, is an old Tom and Jerry. I believe it was Jerry's uncle, Crambone. And at the time, that character had popped back up into my lexicon. Does this auto shut too? Yeah. So the timer blocks, I believe, all auto shut. But whoa, there's a lot of gravity in this area right here, as you can tell. Interesting wheel suspension with a landing gear leg, stuff like that, just to kind of give it some robust when it lands. It is atmospheric, based on the number of thrusters you can see there. Reverse thrust was a little weaker. Side thrust isn't too bad. We had a little bit of ion, not a ton. I love the shape of it, the slope of it. I've never really been able to chase this high of recreating that type of shape, and I've not really wanted to revisit that ship. So, this guy's a familiar face from last season, the Rock Box. That's one. I had this thing. This thing is, I named it the Gnat, and it's just a little scout drone. The plan was to be able to scout around and, you know, very quickly go about. Nothing too special, nothing crazy. I don't even remember what docking system it had. I didn't even put a docking system on this thing, so that's stupid. Not even rechargeable. So there you go. I think there might be a reactor in here. I can't remember. It's been so long. It doesn't look like it. So no, just rocket launcher, a couple of machine guns. Sort of an assault ship with a very open cockpit that would just get cored immediately. This guy was a ship I've never used either. I just called it the Quantum Fighter. Heavily armored. I believe these are all heavy armored. It is atmospheric specifically. I was going to use it for staying on planet, but pretty heavy, and mostly for strafing runs. It is just autocannons up front and a rocket launcher. Run in, blow some stuff up, get out. That's kind of the idea there. I have both the... I believe this one is... What is this ship? This is like the Goblin, maybe? Let's see. Yeah, this is the Goblin. Heavy armored, assault cannon machine gun, just a little fighter, ion fighter, and then this was the Goblin Mark II. Yeah, same thing, 2 rail cannons, that thing. Very small footprint. I tried to make it as compact as possible with the top-down loading, so that it would, you know, effectively be able to occupy a small space. Blah, 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 can't talk. We have here, this was also from last season, if you guys remember this guy. What did we call him? I don't even remember, guys. It's been so long. I want to say it was the boxfish. Yeah, because there was, someone said, I think Lord Chaos, it looked like the boxfish, so there's that guy. This is the Huggy Bear. Probably my most used OG large grid, or small grid miner. The Huggy Bear. I still love this ship. It's still very good. I don't know why I use it. I always try to recreate new ones, but it's still very good. So the Huggy Bear. This guy here was the Zappy Bird. I want to say this was from last season, if I'm not mistaken. I don't know why I called it the Zappy Bird, if I'm being honest. And then, let's see. This guy here was just meant to be a local frigate that I built. The idea was just, like, basically get you to space, get you down from space. So, pretty exposed stuff. Go up here. Come inside. Get stuck on this terrible fencing, as those things are. And, yeah, you got access to your cargo systems there. And then you have your seating, armory, stuff like that, survival kit, gravity, which is why gravity is so heavy right here, and then cockpit right here, so you could pretty easily, just a local frigate. The idea behind this guy was like you would just get into space, and you could basically run to and from an asteroid base or something, ferrying some cargo down from the sky, that kind of thing was the idea, I think, is what I was kind of going for. And I wanted to play with all the shapes and stuff. Oh, good grief, please turn on that. Playing with all the shapes and different things like that to try to get some different design flavor and language. What else? This is just a survival ship that was converted at one point. I think I also called it the Huggy Bear. This is not the Huggy Bear. This is just survival ship converted. This guy was an atmospheric fighter. I believe I modified from the, I want to say I modified this from the Steam store, or from the workshop. Looks like an old World War II bomber. I didn't use it a lot. Turns out small grid stuff gets absolutely nuked. Alright, moving on. This guy was a drop ship I was trying to build out, atmospheric, just to carry cargo. It was gonna be one of the ships I used in last season. I was planning to possibly build this guy so you could just transport cargo, ferry stuff. I thought it looked interesting. That's kind of my idea behind it. What else? There's another one we just missed because we were going so fast. Zappy Bird. TIE Fighter. It's a TIE Fighter. Quantum TIE. I don't even know. Oh yeah, just machine guns. Pretty zippy for being, like, it's all light armor. It's meant to go in, do some murdery stuff, and then come back. Nothing special. And it's got a top hatch, so like it drops, you just drop out of a ship and go to work. That's the plan. That was the idea behind this thing. Nothing too special. I don't even think it actually comes with a actual, what do you call it, antenna. I think I put that on specifically for this space. Alright, next. Let's go down here. We already talked about that not really being a thing. No one cares about it. I don't know why I still have it here other than nostalgia. You guys know this guy, Pronoid Light. He was our last hurrah. We got the Pronoid Heavy. I think this was just called the Pronoid, if I remember correctly. We'll check. Yep, Pronoid. This is what it was gonna be, and then we decided to go Pronoid Light because I don't remember why. And then this is the OG Pronoid LTE versus the Pronoid Light Mark II. And then this, the Flying Squirrel, also from the beginning of this season, I believe. The Flying Squirrel was a tragic loss at the beginning of this season. Rovers I've never used. This was a public server rover that I built. It looks like absolute booty cheeks, but you can jump into it with no problem. Come in here, you've got yourselves hydrogen engines for power, survival kit, large container. Not a bad viewing angle, all things considered, but I believe it has some lower thrust in here as well. And the thrust that I had allowed it to very easily take flight on accident, and as a result of that, I I think I blew it up when I built it in the on the server that I was playing on, and this is meant to be like a light sort of, what do you call it? Like a light rover transport. It is airtight though, even with this god awful cockpit. And then over here, I showed this in the beginning of this season as a small rover we were considering doing the 2025 rover. I still love this thing. I think it looks beautiful. I think it's probably one of my best rovers I've ever made, of the two that I've effectively made, because I haven't really made that many. But if you guys don't know, this one, I don't want to go back, you got your med kits and guns, 2 cockpits, you've got AI, offensive and defensive. I thought this block would do something, it doesn't. Projector, obviously, survival kit. If you come back here, nothing special on this side. Hydrogen tanks for refilling a human, bed to sleep in, that kind of thing. This thing's pretty heavily armored. It was meant to be, I think the doors, I either had the mod for, I had the mods for turning them on and off. It's got autocannons on top, big machine gun. So pretty heavily armored. It was meant to be drop down connected to fit to the back of the Malafor. If you're watching my old series, you will recognize this feller. This is our nickel mule, which is also our iron mule, etc., etc., etc. Our mules, the mules for ferrying cargo. We've got the Strider Mark II modded, and then the Pond Strider unmodded vanilla for, this is the one that John Bray did this, and then obviously here's the Dragonfly as you see it, and I have two for some reason. I don't know why. I don't think there's an actual difference between the two, but one of them came with like a base design. You guys remember this guy? This was the dropship that I was building in order to just get to space, I think. I loved the design of it, but it is immensely weak because it is such heavy armor that these thrusters in Atmo were barely enough to slow it down, and so to get into space you effectively had to just hard burn. But I do love the design of this thing. I think it looks really cool. Going along with the dropship theme, I've got obviously this guy over here. This was meant to be atmospheric as well. Same thing, just a dropship. I love Star Wars, so this was my idea. This is my lat, if you will, and how to build it. I believe it works pretty good. It does have thrusters to work in space, I think. No, it doesn't. No, this one is... No, it does. Yeah, it does. It does have thrusters to work in space. It's not great. It is not great, and it is not airtight inside the cockpit. As you can see, it's just a freaking crammed mess in there. It's not... There's nothing good about the inside of this ship. But I do love it. It looks good, I think. Definitely can slow itself down, but it's also a pretty heavy beast. If I remember correctly, this guy, yeah, is 130 tons, 130,000 tons. What else? Next is this guy I was building when we were planning to stay more on planet. I built this heavy, I don't even know what you'd call it. Just a heavy gunship. It was my plan. I was going to make something that I could very easily do some damage to, like, and it was meant to shoot stuff below. So so like you see here, like autocannons facing down on the side. It wasn't meant to be attacked from above, so the idea behind this thing was that I could fly strafe over something and just pepper it with shells. And then I made a light version of that ship, which is this guy here, gunship, like smaller one, a little bit faster, no lower one, so that it had a landing spot and could do all that stuff. And it had a single artillery cannon on the right that you could use to shoot with, as well as Gatling. I love the look of this thing too. I think it looks cool. It reminds me, there's an old game on the PlayStation where you flew these like helicopter-esque G-force ships like that. This is another ship that I don't think has a name, but it was similar to the that bomber guy right over there. Just a heavy version of it, trying to make it a little bit more robust and able to stop. Um, I was fighting my buddy. He was like, "See if you can build something in creative to fight a base," and so I created this thing, and I flew over, got like 10 shots off, and then just exploded violently. And this is half the weight of the gunship of the LAT or the LAT. So kind of interesting. Not bad. That's not my best work. So those are those guys. That's all my small grid stuff um, that I've not really built and used in system. You guys remember this base that was terrible. My first Q V1 of a Razor Crest. It's trash. One of these is a downloaded Razor Crest. I think it might be this one, or maybe it's this one, because I would never put rocket launchers on the side of it. And then I modified trying to make a better one and see what I could make. I don't like any of it. I just like the Razor Crest, but these aren't really mine. I think I tried to modify this one out to be better, and just, it's not good. This is a ship, industrial ship from I think one of the scenarios that I copied because I was interested in possibly turning it into a salvage ship, which is what we got here. I carved it out and fixed the bottom end so that it could fit my new, what I'm calling the Gnat. And but everything else is pretty much the same. Besides that, I have not outfitted anything else. And then I started looking at it, and I was like, even if I fit this out properly to be a salvage, like large grid salvage ship, it's not going to do what I want it to do. So I need to build a ship that is for salvaging, which brings me, let's see, no name ship V no snub one V2, the one we're doing, and then that right there, I've dubbed the Reclaimer. It's my newest build. Is that everything? I think that's all the ships. This is like gonna be a quick recap. I say quick, it's 20 minutes in. It's not quick at all. Yes, the Reclaimer. So this is what I was talking about when you're talking about putting too many thrusters all together. Like how this looks more interesting than having just a row of thrusters. So like those two look more interesting than that three right there. 4 large cargo containers, 4 hydrogen tanks, 2 big thrusters forwards, backwards, a light. This is the ship. It is 6 bobbed, I believe. I haven't put a camera on the back. It's not complete, but it's the bulk is done. Come in here. We got ourselves a bay room. This so we can depressurize the space and pressurize the space. You come up here, down the circle hallway. You've got the bridge. Uh, this thing moves pretty good. It is quick because of the large thrusters. Very fast. Coming down here, got some maintenance area stuff. I've not really done anything, but if you walk this way, come down, you can see our large batteries, different stuff. This is our reactor. I can't think of the word. Coming into here, we've got gravity generator, more of those. We have, I believe, 4 hydrogen H2O2 generators coming out the front, and you see the bobs and stuff, and then just go straight out. This is not meant to be a pressurized space. Um, so that's this is the reclaimer. Turn on the bobs, chew it. The bobs will only ever be set um, to grind. And then it's got a couple of defensive turrets on the side just for like drones, incoming drones and stuff. I haven't finished the bottom either, but it has 2 large docking clamps to grab hold of stuff, including a docking port that doesn't stick down far enough for me to actually use it to dock to anything. Maybe another spot for the other ship I'm about to show you. And last but not least, we have the Gnat. This is the vanilla Gnat, and this is the Gnat modded. Gnat modded just has 3 bobs in between the grinders there. So this little fella here is an all-ion ship, only an atmospheric. Um, Come in here, we got a slow gun rack, med station. Um, Actually, I'm going to show you the bob one because I did some extra work to it besides the bobs. So we come in here, we've got our computer system, we got a recharge kit, which is great because you need to be able to recharge. Different timer blocks, just some flavor text or flavor stuff like these 2 things here, but we have turning the bobs on and off. So if I wanted to turn them off while I investigate something, I could, or turn them on. We got a pressure thing, so we start the timer there, close the doors, and then kicks off this timer there that pressurizes the space. So we do that, sit down, um, lift off. Like I said, this guy's pretty good. It's got tons of clamps on the bottom. I can take a look, spin around really quick. Tons of clamps on the bottom for docking on stuff. I think we've got 6, so different access points. This is really just meant to go in and chop stuff up, so direction, thrust, all that stuff is fun. Um, and then, as it were, turn on the grinders. So you can be chewing stuff up, and while you're in this view, you can kind of get an idea of what you're grinding, doing all your stuff, blah, 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 that's so forth and so on, like that. And then when you're done, turn the bobs off, turn those off, and then you come back and dock. It does have multiple reactors on it. Reactor. It has 3 little baby reactors just to keep the bobs and everything charged, including, I think 2 batteries. It's not heavily batteried, but it doesn't use a ton of power. And it's got enough juice to handle all the thrusters. And yeah, my personal, like, I just really like it. I just finished this. This is, and then if we do my docking connector trick that I always do, um, I have a block specifically pointing in the direction of the down camera so I can easily dock. We dock on. It's not kicking me out of the camera like the other one does, but that's okay. So, and then you press number 1. That starts that timer there, which turns on the depressurization. And then that door, 6 seconds later, kicks open the doors, and you are free to EVA. So yeah, That is the gnat. Whoa, we have a lot of gravity right here. Holy crap. I bet you the artificial. Oh, yeah, it's 1.34. Yeah. We're basically flying around on per tam, higher than per tam. So, pretty cool little ship. I liked it. I've only really scrapped something like that with it just to see, just to kind of get an idea. But these two combined, figure roll over there. I'm scrapping with this. This thing is scrapping with all of its bobs. And bada boom, bada bing, we've um, got a nice little thing. And I was even thinking I could probably take the bobs and shift them forward in a way that basically the box is just out front, like from this section forward, box of bobs, just nothing but chewing. And then the vanilla version just doesn't have the same everything is set up except for I didn't add in the cockpit stuff right there. But everything else is the exact same. And so I can publish this guy. If anyone's interested in using or playing with the Nat, that's what that guy is. He's a boxy boy. He's chunky, but he does the job. His downward thrust, I believe he's got six down, three right, which isn't, or three right and left, and then the back has eight for reverse propulsion, and we have five going down. But airtight, fragile as hell. Something hits this thing, it's gonna just come apart like a piece of paper mache. That's okay. And that's literally, that is the showcase. That's probably not every one of my builds I've ever blueprinted, but it's the ones I felt like, yeah, these guys. Oh, I'm seeing ships I didn't talk about because I was so busy talking about the local ship. My MC-75, which was on a modded server, so it's missing modded stuff. That's what it is. I will have to fix this later if I ever want to. But big thruster panel back there was kind of what that was. I need to rework this thing entirely. We have the, what is this? I don't even remember what this thing was called. The Assurance, which is a ship that I found and loved, but obviously the business end of this is very expensive to fire, which I turned into the Pronoid, which you may remember from last season. And the beginning of this one is what crashed, the Pronoid. I still love this ship. I love the look of it. It's very Halo-esque. It gives me good Halo vibes. And this guy has, I believe, it is two refineries, is what we're seeing there. And then this guy here, I don't remember what this thing was called. I think it was called the Flakbird. And this is just a ship I made trying to sort out how I wanted to do potentially internal ship types. And the Flakbird's not bad. It's got a nice little cargo area network here, a bed to sleep in, can do some lab stuff, recharge kit, survival kit, battle helm, and then up here primary helm with your gravity generator, that guy. I'm not sure what this button does. Oh, toggles the projector on and off for repairs, and then not a great view here, but still a cool ship. It's pretty heavy. It's 1.2 million pounds, and it does not have the thrust to combat 1.2 million pounds. It's like a heavy Corvette. Um, I don't think it would probably be great for a little seating area in your kitchen. I don't think it'd be great for a pirate encounter, but it would be great for everything else. So, um, yeah, that is the Flakbird, and that's kind of the whole thing. You guys remember that ship? Not a lot was changed between the copy from there and then this guy. So I just took out the guns and made it a little bit less insane and made it more utilitarian for traveling planet to planet, which was the whole point of it, as you may remember. Alrighty, that's all for all these boys here. If you guys want a copy of any of these, let me know. I've never really blueprinted and stuck stuff on the Pawn Star was the first, but I wouldn't be opposed to some of these other guys if you guys are interested and wanted to take them and do something else with them. This is a quick, very fast overview. And so yeah, with that, back to you, Tater. Thank you, Quantum Tater. We're back. And now that we're back, we're gonna go looking for a pirate station. The only reason we're doing that. Oh, I think I've discovered something. This is my thoughts, or my. I think I may have figured out why I can't see a lock-on reticle or a leading reticle, and so we're gonna go test that right now. Basically, the thing that I think I've discovered, the piece of information that I believe that I am missing, is this. When you get into a cockpit with a tool like this, it disables the ability to do the reticle leading thing. So by entering a cockpit with no weapon at all, in theory, we should be able to, I don't know, do something So we're gonna go check out this mobile shipyard. We're not going to attack it, but we're just gonna head that way because that's usually how I get pirates to spawn, as we inadvertently invite them to chaos. Here's a question I have for the group though. Because since I just gave other Quantum Tater 20 minutes of our time, do you guys know if can one turret controller control multiple things? If I wanted to use a single turret controller for all solar, could one controller do that job, or would it need to be multiple controllers? That's my question. Somebody bang my line, let me know. That is the question I have for you. I'm gonna get a little closer to this mobile shipyard. I will I will pick you back up. I got the hiccups right now in this moment. Alrighty, we're back and we are approaching this RLCS. What do we think that faction stands for? RLCS. You are the Royal Constructors. Accept peace. We should be peaceful with these people. Ooh, just out of curiosity, I've got the guns turned off, so we shouldn't accidentally bombard this thing to crap. But let's see if my thing worked. This will be an excellent test. No, it didn't. It did not. Well, that is very disappointing. Look at this ship, though. That looks pretty freaking cool. What about it as a mobile shipyard? It looks to be damaged. Or incomplete, I guess is the way I would describe it. We got no comms. They're not talking to us. They appear to be damaged. Huh. That's weird. Right? Why do they look so damaged? I wonder if I can purchase a ship from them? Is that... Oh, please don't run into this frickin' thing. Cool. Look at this thing. This thing's neat looking. Got yourself a mag plate. Got a ship. Looks like they're pulling it apart or put it together. I can't tell which. Engineering. This vessel is currently not active and en route for maintenance. Please mind your step. Have a productive day. Oh, it's not being mad at me that I stepped foot on there. Cool. En route for maintenance. Ah. Huh. You think there's anything in it? Should we hack it? Should we steal it? Nah, we're not gonna do that. He said, "Have mind your business and have a good day." We're gonna have a good day. We're not gonna go to war with the Royal Constructors. All right, asteroid is that direction, so let's just peel off. Later, nerds. We could have helped him repair his ship by destroying it entirely. That's the real help. The scrap you made along the way. We gotta find one fight before this is all said and done. Right? One fight. Alright. Pick up when I see something of note on the scope. Alright, I think I got some on scope. I think I got a thing. I see a sparkly dot in the sky. And it's moving, and it's not the background, so it must be something. It must be. What it is hard to tell. 128 meters a second. It's not too bad for this heavy this ship is. It's almost 3 million tons. That's pretty good. What could that thing be at? I literally can't see it. It's too far away. It's got to be something. Aha! What are we? It's just a rogue missile, like a... What are you? What the hell is that thing? I literally don't know what this thing is. It's small grid. Okay, let's go take a look at whatever the hell this thing is. Oh, well, and that trash. On the plus side, I got 1 uranium ingot out of it. That's all right. That's the exciting combat we've all been waiting for. Good grief. All right, let's go to this unknown signal maybe and see if we can find something else on the route. All right, talk to you in a minute. Good grief. Well, I am certainly glad we decided not to do the, what do you call it? I'm glad we decided to do the showcase, because honestly, that may be the most interesting part of this episode if we continue on this path. Oh no, we're gonna hit that. Oh jeez, that was close. Oh, that was fun. Is this moving? I can't move. It's not in the rules. Alright, let's go see if we get ourselves anything from this unknown signal. We already know we're not going to, but let's try. It's always worth the effort. Hey, I got a wood grinder. I actually did get something. What are the odds of that? What do we got in here? Hey, I don't need either of those objects. But, man, look at this thing. Nice. A rocket ship. Can just go ahead and turn on the bobs. Because I could have probably done this right here, so we could just collect everything, get it all collected up. That could probably help too, because we're probably faster than the bobs are. What do you guys, has any of you guys, let me know in the comments if you guys have used, like a tiered weapon mod, or a tiered ship tool mod. Maybe that's the trick, to make salvage a little more interesting than just letting the bobs chew stuff up. What if we used a tiered ship mod, a tool mod, so that we could like get a tier 1, tier 2 through tier 3, make it quicker to grind? Because honestly, this being faster than the fact that I've got 3 different bobs working to grind this thing down tells me that this shouldn't be faster than using a large grid ship. And I know large grid ships, like they carry a larger threshold, or what's the word I'm looking for? A bigger radius. That's why they grind faster, because they can grind more than just a single space of blocks, but yeah, that it's not quick enough. Nothing is spawning in. I think something may be wrong. Something's going on for sure. Um, I'll tell you what, let's do this. Hmm. See a blind jump. Maybe we'll create some interest. Shibloop. Because collecting stuff is not exactly the interest I was thinking it would be. There's just no. Why are there no unknown signals? We're gonna come with me on an adventure to search the large grids to see what the hell's going on here. Biggest grids. Malafor. Malafor's tire, I guess. Can remove that. Another tire, another tire. Why are those separate? Who knows? This is interesting. Where is this guy at? Mm. How very strange. Looks like there's a wreck somewhere. Turn that off. Get rid of that. Oh yeah, Pronoid gravesite. That's funny. Uh, hmm. I don't know. Nothing really spawning in right this second. I don't feel like we're doing. Hmm. Like we don't even have a large unknown signal, or what is it? Unknown? What is it? Unknown signal, unknown, unidentified signal. We don't even have one of those right now. Very interesting. Hmm. All right, I will pick you guys back up here in a second. Alrighty, we have returned to base. There's just nothing out there right now. This is a lot of floating around, looking for something to shoot, looking for someone to shoot. And we're not really, something's going on. I don't know if the spawner's messed up, if I need to, I'm not sure. I'm not sure exactly what's going on, but it is not my favorite because it means that I am just waiting for something to do, which I don't love. Let's see here. Let's go ahead and get this guy docked up. Maybe we can help out. Alrighty, we're back. I took a short sabbatical and went and collected some stuff. We just don't have materials on board to finish this grinding out. I've got some more iron, even more iron than previously. I can't even build a new ship. I can't even build a large grid mining ship because of our iron shortage. So I can't finish this thing. So hopefully we're not that far off the front, man. We're just like we're almost there. Look at it. The interior is we're close. We're very close. We're just not there. So part of me is like, oh, I should just start taking blocks from everywhere. Like just grind this thing down. We've got nothing spawning in for some reason. I haven't figured that piece out, but I think I'm just gonna leave you with the Showcase Showdown. Let you take a gander at those. Let me know if you want me to blueprint any of them and post them up on the workshop. I would be happy to do so. Because honestly, I am at a loss for why stuff's not spawning in this moment. And I would say it's for the best, but it's probably not for the best. It's for the most irritating, I think, is what I would say. I'm gonna... No, I'll do this later. I was gonna blueprint. I don't have the Elder Dagron Mark II. What's this, or V2? I don't have this guy blueprinted, and I don't think I have a new version of the Malafor printed either. So maybe that's something I do. Go mining again while I'm waiting for stuff to happen. But if you guys enjoyed this, you know what to do. This was kind of weirdly uneventful. I didn't intend it to be that way, but honestly, it's strange that I can't find anything to shoot. That's not usually a problem I have in Space Engineers. Normally I can't find things that won't stop shooting me is usually my problem. Wait, that's the sound of a spawn? Oh. Why don't you have anything for us to shoot, little unknown signal? Let's go collect this really quick while I collect my thoughts. You know, the enemies would be stronger if I had more likes and subscribes. No, kidding. Kidding, guys. Um, Thanks for the comments. I appreciate it. Let me know what you think of the Reclaimer. I really like the way it looks. I know it's only 6 bobs, Chad, not 20. That's my bad. I've under-bobbed us for that ship. But it does come with a Zappy Bird. Or, I mean, not a Zappy Bird. That's a different ship altogether. It does come with the Might, which has 3 bobs in and of itself. So really, if you think about it, it's actually 9 bobs. And I think it would mean cutting through some salvage fairly fast. So if you think it's cool looking or you think that's the one I should build, let me know. If you guys have a better ship idea or you want me to blueprint something so you can turn it into a better ship idea, I'm also down for that. I still need to figure out how to get, like, we did show pictures of the large grid Pawn Strider, which, to be fair, John, I will say this, that Pawn Strider looks like it's still land-based, which is spectacular, and the Soul Strider was meant for going into space. So technically, I've not made a large grid Pawn Strider, only you did. The Soul Strider is a spacefaring vehicle, so it doesn't technically count in that space, I don't think. Yeah, that's my thoughts. Let me dump this stuff off, and then we'll do a little saying goodbye. And I will catch you later, taters. And see if we wave. We sure can't. Yeah, as always, be kind. Bye.